Okay, today we're going to be discussing the role of the discriminant when you use the quadratic formula. The discriminant is the part of the quadratic equation that is under the radical sign. So here's the quadratic equation. So when we're talking about the discriminant, we're talking about this part, just the b squared minus 4ac. Only that part, just that part. Okay, it is used to determine how many possible solutions you're going to have to your quadratic equations and whether they are real or imaginary. So, the thing that you need to remember is whatever this turns out to be, this b squared minus 4ac, if it turns out to be a positive number, then you have two real solutions. If that turns out to be 0, then you only have one real solution. That's because the square root of 0 is 0, so it's just the negative b over 2a that ends up being your answer. When you're looking at a negative number up underneath there, since we cannot technically square root a negative number, that's where you have two imaginary solutions. Because the plus and the minus is what gives you your second solution. So if you have a negative, you'll have two imaginary solutions and your answers will contain an I. Okay, so when we go through the quadratic formula, the only part we need to do to discover the discriminant is the b squared minus 4ac. So we plug in the b, which is 1, the a, which is 5, and the c, which is negative 2, and we evaluate that number. Once we put that up underneath there, we have a positive number, 41. So we know that this one has two real solutions. Again, now this one, what's different with this one here is that you need to move all this over here. In order to be able to use a quadratic formula, your equation must equal 0. So we're moving all this over. This is what we get. Now, we're going to evaluate b squared minus 4ac. Negative 10 squared is 100. And then minus 4 times 2 times negative 5. That gives us 40. So this is 140. We have two real solutions. All right, again, we do this again. We move the 3k over here to be with this one. We plug in all the numbers. We end up with 0. That means that you only have one real solution with this one. It will be the negative b over 2a part. And again, we need to move things now. The reason that I'm moving this to the right is just to keep the r squared term positive. So I end up with 4r squared plus 4r plus 6. I plug all that in, and I end up with negative 80. This one has two imaginary solutions. Thank you.